Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from when you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media. Fellow Biafrans, I heard the one they call Biafra Unite is talking about we the Biafrans are now in autopilot. I hear the one they call Biafra Unite is saying that Biafra is now officially on autopilot. Fellow Biafrans, before I start this video, I want you to look at the logo of this man they call Biafra Unite. It is before our eyes, but most of us, we missed the details he was trying to tell us. On the logo, in the middle is the man they call Nnamdi Kanu, a man we love so much, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And on the forehead of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the name Biafra Unite. So subconsciously, when you look at a picture, because we love Nnamdi Kanu, the name Biafra Unite being above it, your brain will now be relating the name Biafra Unite with the likeness and love that we have and profess for Nnamdi Kanu. So when you hear Biafra Unite, you see the picture, the face of Nnamdi Kanu. It is psychological. In psychology, they call it resonance image. In business marketing or business management, in international marketing and sales, they call it resonance marketing. Resonance marketing. To sell the image, to sell an image to the mind of somebody. When you go around everywhere, you see the billboards. The sun is shining, you are feeling hot, and then you see a billboard with Pepsi Cola. The Pepsi is looking iced up, very cold. You can feel the drip down of water, cold ice coming down that Pepsi. In your mind, the picture of that Pepsi has subconsciously communicated with your mind, body, and soul. And now you cannot wait to get home to buy and drink a very cold bottle of Pepsi. So when you see the picture of Biafra Unite, or when you see the name Biafra Unite in the logo he made, and the picture of Nnamdi Kanu, suddenly it becomes complementary. Just like bread and butter. When you think about bread, you are thinking about butter. When you think about butter, you are looking for bread to enjoy it with. This is a psychological game this guy is playing. This is the game this guy is playing on us. But fellow Biafrans, I'm not going there. Look at the left hand or the right hand side of the logo. You have IPOB in green. The bottom left or the bottom right. Look at the bottom right of the logo. You see IPOB there. You all know that we called IPOB Nigeria Limited. Those that sold Nnamdi Kanu, we have declared them as IPOB Nigeria Limited. We don't believe in any organization known as IPOB anymore because they are sellouts. We see ourselves as the indigenous people of Biafra. All Biafrans by nature, we are IPOB. But the IPOB organization is now known as a criminal enterprise. Those that sold Nnamdi Kanu, those that went to court in Finland to blackmail Simon Ekpa, those that went to court in Finland to stand as a witness against Simon Ekpa. And also, Biafra Unite told you that he has eyes in the court of Simon Ekpa in Finland. He told you that the government of Finland, they watch his video. But what you did not show you guys is the IPOB on his logo. it means he believes in IPOB. It means he might be one of the members of the DOS IPOB, those that said they have infiltrated the cabinet of Simon Ekpa. His logo says IPOB. His logo says IPOB. He has never written anything about BRGIE. There is nothing written about BRGIE in the name or logo of Biafra Unite. There is nothing about USB on the name or logo of Biafra Unite. What you have is IPOB. IPOB. Fellow Biafrans, at the top left corner of the logo, what you have there is the old flag of Biafra. What a taboo. At the top left corner of the logo of Biafra Unite, what you have is the old flag of Biafra. As you know, the new flag of Biafra, according to the government of Simon Ekpa, now has a Star of David in the middle of the rising sun. But if you believe in IPOB and the DOS, they are still going with the old star or the old flag. The old flag that only has a star in the middle or a sunrise in the middle without no Star of David. So for the fact this man is still using the old flag, it means he does not believe in the new flag as created by Simon Ekpa, but he believes in the old flag that is being used till this day by the DOS, by the IPOB Nigeria Limited. Fellow Biafrans, I'm going somewhere with this one. Fellow Biafrans, I'm going somewhere with this one. Before I start my analysis, I want you to watch a quick 2-minute video of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, Her Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of Biafra. Then once you watch the video, I will then come back and show you a snippet from a video made by Biafra Unite, where he said we are now on autopilot. That Biafra has gone back to autopilot. We don't have a country. We don't have a nation. We have gone back to autopilot. Fellow Biafrans, after this video, I am confident that your eyes will be opened. You will now see this man Biafra Unite for who he really is. If you are ready, let's go there. Watch this.
Not let them deceive you into that. Again, all of us are fully aware there is nothing like IPOB as an organization. Our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa made that clear. There is nothing like IPOB as an organization. But all of us are IPOB. We are the indigenous people of Nigerian people organization. Because that...
I think you meant Biafra, because you said Nigeria. Thank you.
No, I said the IPOB. We are all the indigenous people of Biafra, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So we all are the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as a people. But there's nothing like IPOB as an organization, because these are the people working closely with the Nigerian state. They are part of what happened to Nnamdi Kanu. They plotted and planned the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. They plotted. They are part of what happened to our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Those are the people called IPOB organization. So as far as the BRGIE, State of Biafra government is concerned, there is nothing like IPOB organization. So when you see some of them running from here to here, saying they're opening office, these are paid agents of the Nigerian state. They are all coming out right now from their heights, from their hiding places, and as working for about. I also want to use this opportunity to inform Biafrans that there are a couple of the people working for the Nigerian state just trying to deceive people either on Twitter space, online, trying to pretend as if they are part of what we're doing. Meanwhile, they are not. Again, these media sites or individuals, they pretend there's one God, Ross. These are the criminal elements paid by the Nigerian state to be parading themselves on Twitter or other places as if they are part. Biafrans, ignore these people. They are not part of what we are doing. They are paid to destroy what we are doing. Just like this Elias, this lobbyist Elias and Dabili are paid to destroy what we're doing. They thought Odogu is not coming out, but it's coming out very soon. So that was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. I just have to let out some of these names because why some Biafrans, the true ones already know them. I also want to every now and then let Biafrans know that these criminals are paid to do what they do. So when you hear them talking about restoration of Biafra, restoration was, please ignore them. They are the paid against all the Nigerian state. So Biafra Unite, the one is coming out very soon. So that was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni Jews. Was the one called himself Biafra Unite, the one, this riffraff called Oreni.
There you have it. There you have it. At this point, I want you Biafrans to now hear the one they call Biafra Unite, the one you all love to love. Hear him break down what he meant by autopilot. That Biafra, we are now in autopilot. What you will hear in this video will blow your mind. But please stay strong. All I need is your ears. Lend me your ears. Listen to what this guy says. Then you will know those who are against the structure of Simon Ekpa. If you are ready, let's go there. Watch this.
In autopilot.
Listen.
Liberation now fully in autopilot. I'm going to explain something briefly for the return of Biafra liberation into autopilot.
Listen.
I'm going to explain it because it has been so crazy. Like, some people do not understand how. Some people are thinking that Biafra liberation is just moving.
Listen.
Now, pay attention. I want to clarify this to all of us.
Okay.
Some people are actually thinking that the restoration of Biafra or the liberation of Biafra is all about Biafra moving from, according to one idiot that sent me a message, they narrated to me how Biafra, since I mentioned autopilot, the kingdom of darkness is under ruins.
Listen.
They are quaking, they are shaking. One Okoko sent me a message.
Listen.
Telling me that Biafra struggle went through Masob. No, they started from Ojuku, went through Ojuku to Masob, from Masob to IPOB, from IPOB to autopilot, from autopilot then to USB. The other one said from autopilot to BRGIE. They started analyzing all these things to me as if I don't know what they are saying.
Listen.
As if I have become a novice in the struggle. I do no longer understand, all those narratives.
Listen.
Now, let me make it very clear to them, those who are thinking alike, that the restoration of Biafra, the coming of Biafra, does not determine, or should I say, the so-called moving from Masob to BIM, to IPOB, to autopilot, to BRGIE, or to USB.
Listen.
it does not determine the level that Biafra has gotten or the level that we have reached in restoring the nation of Biafra.
Listen.
Those names you are calling does not determine where we are in the struggle. I want everybody to give me their ears.
Okay.
Because this very narrative has beclouded the sense of reasoning of some Biafrans, which I have to clarify this very evening.
Listen.
These names you are mentioning does not determine the level that Biafra liberation struggle has reached.
Says who?
And it does not mean that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Says who?
Because the names are coming with some group of people. There are people who are bringing those names. They are not really natural to us.
Listen.
I want everybody to give me their ears this evening. I don't know why I'm explaining this, because this is not among the the plan for tonight's broadcast.
Listen.
But once the spirit of our ancestors put it in my mouth, I will say it because there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Now, these names, MASOB, BEAM, IPOB, DOS, Autopilot, this and that, these names, or the so-called move, as they claim that it is moving,
so-called,
does not determine the level where we are in the struggle.
So-called is
No. Those names are being generated by some group of people or some individuals, of which the name Autopilot, I was among those that piloted that very name, Autopilot.
Okay.
Back then, not now.
Okay.
So, when you hear somebody's asking if I can allow Biafrans to join tonight, yes, there will be question and answer at the end. So, when you hear Autopilot,
listen,
that does not mean that you are going back to where you came from or to where you left. Because the struggle is not all about name. These ones answering, they want to open their own group called USB. That is not the extent where Biafra has gotten.
Listen.
So don't allow anybody to deceive you that Biafra has moved from IPOB to Autopilot, from Autopilot to USB. Don't allow anybody to deceive you that that is how we are getting Biafra. No.
Listen.
No, people are coming with those names. It is not natural to us.
Wow.
So, when we say Autopilot, it does not mean that we are going back. It means based on the current affairs.
Listen.
It is based on the current affairs.
Listen.
Based on the latest development. Based on the way things are going.
Listen.
Now, let me explain this better to you.
Explain.
When we say Biafra struggle has gone back to Autopilot, that means, you remember when we raised that topic of Autopilot in 2021, it was strictly because of the arrest, or strictly because of the kidnap and rendition of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Listen.
Then we announced Biafra struggle going back to entering Autopilot.
Listen.
That was a simple statement made by our Prime Minister back then, Mazi Simon Ekpa. So, he never meant any harm. He never meant to cause confusion, but he said it based on the situation on ground as at that time. And he was proven right, because the so-called governing body of IPOB, the so-called governing body of IPOB, DOS,
listen,
couldn't be able to do the needful. Because what they could have done is to support that word of Autopilot for everyone to be on a safer side in order to move the struggle forward. When you say autopilot, that does not mean that there are no more people who are running affairs of the government.
Hold it there. You see the way he tried to twist the story now that the DOS, all they should have done was to support the autopilot. But we all know that the real full name of autopilot was IPOB Autopilot. Because when Nnamdi Kanu asked the DOS to give Simon Ekpa a slot in Radio Biafra, they went against the directives of Nnamdi Kanu. Not only that, they were attacking Simon Ekpa, and they were trying to destroy the fabric that made IPOB what it was back then. We saw the hands they were using against Simon Ekpa. We saw how they were collaborating with the politicians. We saw how they tried to stop or end Sit at Home and the rest of them. We saw how they were in bed with the caliphate. And when we knew they were responsible for betraying and selling Nnamdi Kanu for $9 million, it only makes sense that we had to cut off from them. Hence, Simon Ekpa pronounced that we are now on autopilot. And they were now insulting us. They were calling us autopilot, autopilot. They assume it's a caricature. But Simon Ekpa now took the name, that stone they were using to stone us. Simon took the name and said, going forward, we are now IPOB autopilot. And we now refer to the DOS and the rest of them as IPOB Nigeria Limited. That was the day we separated the chaff from the wheat. And those who are still real, those who still believe in Nnamdi Kanu, those who still believe in the most beloved disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, which is Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, we automatically moved from the IPOB Nigeria Limited to IPOB Autopilot. But if you leave it to this man, he will come and tell you a different narrative. But I will fall back. Let us keep on hearing this man. Please, take your time and open your mind. Don't be judgmental. Open your mind and hear what this man is saying. Try to understand what this man is saying. This man they call Biafra Unite. A man who does not show his face. A man who you don't even know his name, his real name, his surname. But he wants to be influencing the government. That's where I have a problem with him. Me, myself, I don't show my face, but I'm not here trying to command the government or the structure of Simon Ekpa. I'm not in the cabinet of Simon Ekpa. I'm not in the government of Simon Ekpa. I don't hold any political position in Biafra because I know for the fact I'm not showing my face. It doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to be trusted at the corridors of power in the government for the fact I'm not showing my face. Hence, I came with the slogan, with the lingo, independent media. Go to my YouTube, check my description there. I said, we are an independent media. That's the only way I can function. Because I know I'm not showing my face because the contract on ground, the business on ground does not permit me to even be on social media on the internet. But because I love my people, I love Biafra, I want to put in my own 2 cents, my own 2 efforts, my little effort to propagate the news of Biafra. Hence, I stepped in and said, I am a disciple of Simon Ekpa. And going forward, I came with the channel Biafra Superstars Media. I always told you, don't trust me. Don't believe me for the fact I'm not showing my face. Respect to those who are showing their face because it's not easy. But as it is said in your Bible, give what belongs to Caesar and to God, to God. Give what belongs to Caesar, and to God, to God. I know why I'm not showing my face because I literally travel all the time, all across the whole countries. And in the contract, I'm not supposed to be on social media. It's a breach Showing my face means, yes, I'm doing the right thing for my people, but it's a breach in the contract of what takes care of my family, my daily bread, my children, and all that. So you cannot serve two masters at the same time. The only way you can do it is to compromise and look at those gray areas in your contract. Some of you're working. If your work does not say, oh, you must not have a social media account, you must not have a Facebook account, you must not have a Twitter account, you must not have an Instagram account. If you have anything like that, they must be dummy accounts, not your real name, not your real picture, not your data in it. The kind of job we do, we are not supposed to be in the eyes of the public. The kind of job I do, we are not supposed to be in the eyes of the public. But because I love my people, I had to look at the contract on ground, the gray area that said, okay, worst come to worst, if you must be active on social media, then you must have what they call a stealth account, or a shadow account. Without your name, without your face, without anything that will make you identifiable. The day you go against that day your license will be revoked, your contract terminated, and so on and so forth, and penalties will come in. Hence, the best I can do right now to support my people, to support Obatobie, is to do what I'm doing. But I cannot come towards the corridors of power for the BRGIE or USB government. It doesn't make sense. Anybody that should be in the government must show their face, must tell us their real name and the rest. Because there must be integrity, there must be credibility, and there must be accountability. CIA. Credibility, integrity, accountability. CIA. In anything you are doing, in any organization, you must follow the principles of the CIA. Credibility, integrity, availability, and the rest of them. Accountability as well, because you're looking at you being accountable. But this man, Biafra Unite, he has chosen to influence the government of Biafra. This man was once in the media of Biafra, part of the media team, despite his not showing his face. So I asked myself, what document did he use to apply to be in the role of the media? Who carried out the vetting process? Where they vet you, they verify you, your interview, your document. I want to believe those in the cabinet, they all came with their CV, they came with their ID, their documentation, you went through it. I hope that's the case. I hope. I'm praying that's what you guys did, though. That anybody went there for government, una check their ID, una check their name, their date of birth, where they were born, what they are doing now, before you now vet them and allow them to be in the government. I hope that's what you guys are doing, because that's the minimum in a government, though, not be a private company. In a government, anybody who is working in the government, you must have their criminal record. They must be vetted. So for the fact I'm not showing my face, you don't know my name, why should I now be or try to influence the government or be in the government or control the government of Biafra? It doesn't make sense. So I'm wondering, why is Biafra Unite trying to control 80 million Biafrans? Today he's now saying we are on autopilot. This man, he doesn't show his face. He is now telling you he is controlling the government. He's commanding the government. He is daring the government that we are not on USB. We are on autopilot. We have gone back to autopilot. Biafrans, open na ear. A faceless man, an unknown soldier, a ghost-faced person is telling you guys that you are now on autopilot. That shouldn't be coming from him because he's not showing his face. You don't know his identity. I keep saying it. Simon Ekpa asked this man, say, okay, at least let me alone see your face. Open your camera. Let me alone see your face. Let me know who I'm working with. Biafra Unite. I, Simon Ekpa, I am asking you to show me your face. Let me at least know you. He said no to Simon Ekpa. He did not reveal his identity to Simon Ekpa, our Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister. Biafra Unite did not reveal his identity to our Prime Minister, Obatobie. But me, I'm here, I'm saying it on record. I know Simon Ekpa, and Simon Ekpa knows me. Simon Ekpa knows my identity. I am saying it on record. Take my words to the bank. You see, but in the case of Biafra Unite, Simon Ekpa said, look, Biafra Unite, okay, I know you're hiding your face, fine, but please, let me, Obatobie, the Prime Minister of Biafra, at least let me alone see your face. Don't show any other person. Let me alone see your face. Show me who you are. Open your camera between the two of us, 1-to-1. Let me see you. Let me see your face. Biafra United said, no. Obatobie, I cannot do it. I don't feel safe showing you my face. You don't feel safe showing your face to our Prime Minister. But somehow you feel you are entitled to come and control the government, to control 80 million Biafrans, to tell us what to do. You want us to obey you, to listen to you, but we don't know who you are. We don't know your name. We don't know where you are from. We don't know your parents. We don't know your psychology. We don't know your belief. We don't know who you are working with. But somehow, Biafrans are following you. Wow. I sometimes this beats, I mean, I cannot phantom this in my head. That somebody not showing us his face is competing with the government. Telling the government, we are not on USB. We are now on autopilot. Biafra is now on autopilot. The 80 million Biafrans, we don't have a country. We don't have a nation. We are back to autopilot. Let me fall back. Let's keep on hearing this guy. Biafrans, lend me your ears. Lend me your ears. Keep on listening to Biafra Unite. Listen.
Government of BRGIE is there. Very, very intact. That does not mean that people are not running the affairs of BRGIE. People are there running it. But the struggle itself has gone to autopilot. Because that would have been an opportunity for DOS members to key in and move the struggle forward instead of coming to create chaos on the social media, fighting Simon Ekpa, fighting autopilot as if it has become the struggle that they were fighting.
Listen.
So, now, in this current era, whereby Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being held by the enemies, and our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa is being held by Finland, it is time for us to bring another tactics.
Listen.
In order for us to defeat our enemies. Our common enemies are the zoo and those working for the zoo in our midst.
Listen.
Those are our common enemies. So, for the fact that we all know the reason why our two leaders are being held today, one in the hands of the enemies in the zoo, while one in the hands of Finnish authority, we know the reason why they are being held.
Listen.
And the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa said live in the court, he told the three-man judges that, look, he told them, tamper justice with mercy. That you people should understand that as you are keeping me here, my people are being unalived on a daily basis by the Nigerian state, be it the Nigerian terrorist army or the Nigerian Fulani terrorists. They are everywhere. These are two known terrorist organizations. So as you are keeping me here, my people are dying. And he reassured the judges that I am not going to give up the struggle, irrespective of whatever happens, despite what happens. I will not give up the struggle. That was a word, that was word of encouragement for all of us. So, now that the situation is like this,
listen,
it is not about I am the leader now. It is not about I am the one leading now. If you are not able to do that which the leader should be doing, then you are not a leader. You ain't leading anywhere.
Listen.
Then the Biafra struggle is in automatic movement.
Okay.
It's moving automatically.
Okay.
You are not leading. The truth of the matter is that our leaders have been able to open the eyes of Biafran people for us to know what it takes to fight for freedom.
Listen.
We know when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking on radio station, he equally traveled to the zoo and was arrested in the airport.
Listen.
At the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos State. Or should I say airport hotel. Now, the moment Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did the needful, what he is supposed to do as a freedom fighter, as someone who wants to liberate his people, they came at him.
Listen.
This time around, they didn't wait for him to sneak into Nigeria any longer, but farmer walimi mawimi we makuti mi ebono. We makuti mi ebono. We geba oga kidnap where. They went there and kidnapped him.
Listen.
Because they have seen that this man is now ready to fight for his freedom.
Listen.
That is the reason why they could no longer wait. They went and kidnapped him where he was in Kenya, because they knew that he is now out to fight for his freedom. And since that time they kidnapped him in Kenya, they are still Akanape John Joloko today in the court. And Mazi Ekpa, the Prime Minister,
listen.
The same. Ogono ne kuoku, ananu ogu DOS, nanu ogu DOS. Finland did not arrest him.
Listen.
Finland did not arrest him. But what happened to him? What happened to him is that when he said, "We are done now. The media war is over. The rant and banters are all over. Let us do the work." Musa started crying. Nigeria started writing petitions. All those months from June, July, August, September, October, November, December, even though that the battle was still raging in Biafra land. The battle was still raging. But there were a lot of things which were not activated at that very moment, at that time.
Listen.
While the battle was raging, there were few things that were yet to be activated in order to...
Hold it there. Underline the word. There were few things that were yet to be activated. There were few things that were yet to be activated. Because if you remember from Autopilot, we went to BRGIE, we went to where? To Finland, Helsinki, a convention in 2023. some few more things were now activated. And finally, Biafrans, they voted abroad and in the homeland. Biafrans in the local and abroad, we voted for a referendum. And before you know it, over 50 million people voted. Few more things were activated. And the last straw was to make sure we get to Latin Finland and redeclare Biafra. And once we did that, we now were able to activate the rebirth of Biafra, the redeclaration of Biafra, the rebirth of a nation. So where he said few things were being activated, all those things, we followed the process of Simon Ekpa. The structure was there. Simon Ekpa always told us he has laid down a structure. Nigeria, they tried to stop the redeclaration of Biafra. Nigeria, they strong-armed Finland. That's 2 weeks to the redeclaration. Finland did the unthinkable. They went to call Simon Ekpa for questioning. And ever since, they've not released him. But we still went there. We still went to Latin Finland to redeclare Biafra because that was the missing key. The final activation code was to be in Finland. Oh my God. I don't want to go spiritual today. I want to keep it easy. The final activation code to restore Biafra was to gather with us the 50 million votes from local and abroad. All the documentations, countries who said they are still with us. We went all the way to Latin Finland to redeclare Biafra. They tried to stop it. They said, no, do not redeclare. When we go there, go for a jamboree, go and dance, go and chop food. Make we take picture. Let us go to Finland and dance. We should not redeclare. That was their plan. But we thank God that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze was able to outsmart the naysayers, was able to outsmart Nigeria, was able to outsmart the plans that Nigeria and Finland, they had in stock. They were not expecting us to redeclare Biafra on the 29th of November. I want to show you guys that one of the tricks that we used to use back in the days to smoke out somebody that a government are looking for in the Western world. Sometimes they will now claim, oh, there is a fire alarm in the building. You are in a hotel, there is a fire alarm. You know what that means? It means everybody comes out. Once you come out, next in the CIA, the FBI, the rest of them, MI5, they will go into that hotel, go into that room, spike the drink of that person, mess up the water, the cream of that person. And when they say, oh guys, thanks so much, it was a false alarm, it's all cleared now, the fire has been contained, thank you so much. You will see a real fire to make your mind not assume they came for you. You will see a small fire that was contained. Thank you, everybody. You can now go back to your flats. As you go back, that's the end. You will be there, drink your coffee, take your shower, wash your teeth with your toothpaste. Everything laced with poison. But one of the games they always use is to create a commotion that there's a fire alarm. If we had waited, listen to me, if we had waited until the 2nd of December 2024 to redeclare Biafra, only God knows the tricks that Finland and Nigeria had in stock waiting for us. Only God knows what they have in store for us waiting on that day. So till this day, I keep on thanking God that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze was able to outsmart them. Because I was worried that, oh, a convention is going on, but we gave a particular day of the redeclaration. The enemy will come and create something, a commotion. You also had they killed Malcolm X. You saw how they killed Malcolm X. There inside the hall, he was preaching. The killers were there and they say, oh, take your hands off my pocket. Your hands is in my pocket. You are trying to steal my stuff. Take your hands off my pocket. A commotion. People were looking where the commotion was happening. And behind, they took him out. He was shot. And the main one was hit his chest. And the rest of them. There was a plan A, plan B, and plan C. Malcolm X did not die in that hall. He was still breathing, but the plan B was for somebody else to act like they are giving him, is it a CRP or what? Not knowing that the guy who was doing the CRP was also part of those sent to kill him. So the guy was blocking his airwaves, pumping air into his chest, but blocking it there. He was choked with the blood coming out of him. So nobody knew the game that Finland had in store for us. But Dr. Ngozi Orabueze was able to outsmart them. For the fact that Biafra was redeclared on the 29th of November, the very first day of the convention, it threw Finland off and it knocked Nigeria off their square. They didn't see it coming. And finally, the complete activation took place. Biafra is now officially a nation. But this man called Biafra Unite, a man who does not show his face, is now saying that Biafra should go back to autopilot, to the days of autopilot. We don't have a country. Let us forget all the activations that he spoke about. The process. Forget about the process from Latin Finland to forget everything. We are not a country. Let's go back to autopilot. Says who? Biafra Unite. On whose authority is he speaking from? Is he the surrogate of Simon Ekpa? The name is no. The answer is no. Is he the chief of staff of Simon Ekpa? The answer is no. Is he a member of the cabinet? The answer is no. This same man was the man that spoke about charter. This same man came with his plan A. He spoke about charter. He said, no, we are not a nation yet. That Dr. Ngozi Orabueze doesn't have the right. They spoke about charter. They wanted to put somebody who was weak, somebody like Oge Nkiri, so that now they will now control him and do what they have done to Oge Nkiri. What if they had succeeded in making Oge Nkiri the acceptable or the accepted, what they call him, acting prime minister? What if all the 80 million Biafrans, we accepted Oge Nkiri as our acting prime minister? What if the 80 million Biafrans will fell back from USB to BRGIE and suddenly the so-called CRC came and removed Oge Nkiri? It means the 80 million Biafrans have been taken for a ride. We are back to square one. They will now be talking about the autopilot, which means we going to Finland to redeclare Biafra by proxy is now null and void, because the 80 million Biafrans, they agreed to fall back to BRGIE. They ignored what happened in Latin Finland, USB. They ignored USB and they fell back to BRGIE. And from BRGIE, they were able to remove their so-called acting prime minister. And now the 80 million Biafrans, they have fallen back to the days of autopilot. Fellow Biafrans, we were in autopilot in 2021. How many years ago is that? And Simon Ekpa told you he knows when Biafra will come. But this man called Biafra Unite, a man who is not supposed to be at the corridors of power. I keep on asking myself, who in the name of God made the mistake to allow this boy, this criminal, this faceless idiot, who allowed this guy to be in the corridors of power? That was a big mistake, a blunder. The biggest mistake we made was to make somebody who is not showing their face to be part of the cabinet. Very, very strange. And for the fact he was looking for a position like that shows he has a criminal motive, an ulterior motive, because someone like me, in my wildest dream, I will never think about having any position in the government for the fact I'm not showing my face, for the fact nobody knows my name, for the fact nobody knows my location. It makes no sense, even though Simon Ekpa knows who I am. Even though Obatobie knows who I am. But because of integrity, credibility, accountability, honesty, transparency, I cannot be at the corridors of power without you knowing who I am. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, fellow Biafrans, those of you who is still following these guys, you say you believe in Ada, you say you believe in all these guys, you believe in them, you believe in Biafra Unite, but take time, calm down. I told you in the beginning of this video, calm down and understand what these guys are saying, understand their plan, understand the reason why they are saying we should go back to autopilot. It is to defeat all the activations that we have activated according to him. Those were his words. I've used his words to defeat him in his own argument. So for the last time, let's take it back and just hear what he said, and I'll call it a day. Listen, 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 listen.
The battle was still raging. But there were a lot of things which were not activated at that very moment, at that time. While the battle was raging, there were a few things that were yet to be activated in order to touch Musa. The moment those things were activated, boom, Musa started lamenting, writing petition, zoo government, they were everywhere, seeking for help in Europe and other Western countries. And today, this is where we are. So, now that our PM is in the custody, we expect another person who will stand in the gap.
Listen.
To carry out the mantle and make sure that the struggle never dies, that the arrest...
Shut up there. He expect another person to stand in the gap. Not the structure of Simon Ekpa lay down, no. Do you not get it? Speaking this way means you are against the structure of Simon Ekpa. Speaking this way means you are against the structure of the government of Biafra. Simon Ekpa is held up. Now that Simon Ekpa is held up, he expects another person to rise up. Fellow Biafrans, lend me your ears. Let's take it back. Make una hear him again. I beg, lend me your ears. Hear him again. Listen, listen.
Is in the custody. We expect another person.
Take it back. Listen again. Listen again.
So, now that our PM is in the custody, we expect another person who will stand in the gap to carry out the mantle and make sure that the struggle never dies, that the arrest of PM that the zoo was celebrating has become completely useless.
Listen, listen.
But for the fact that those who claim to be leaders, Ngozi Orabueze,
listen,
are all busy gossiping, ranting, and talking bullshit on the social media since December down to July. This is the 8th month, the 80th month, because this is the 7th month of the year plus December after they all, went back to their various destinations from Finland.
Listen.
88 months. Now let me count it for you.
Okay.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in June and renditioned on the 27th of June. He was kidnapped on the 19th, renditioned on the 27th. June aga, July aga, August. When the full-blown media battle began was in August. After the cancellation of the Monday sit at home.
Listen.
On 13th August. On the 13th August.
Listen.
2021.
Listen.
That is when the full-blown media war began between Biafrans.
Negenti.
This one they said they are supporting the other one said they are autopilot. Now, count from August. I want now to put on Azu today. Count between August, September, October, November, December, January, February. You get another 6 months. If you start counting from from August to September, that gives you 1 month. October, 2 months. November, 3 months. December, 4 months. January, 5th month. And then February, that made this 6th month, we gave them what we called vote of no confidence.
Okay.
And that was the end. We moved on from there. That is the time they knew that we are serious.
Listen.
So, what am I trying to tell you here? We could not allow the social media saga to destroy the main objective, which is the freedom that we all are fighting for. That's why it lasted only about 6 months. We gave them vote of no confidence and moved on. But because those on the other side do not know what they are looking for, they were not here for the freedom. They continued. I want you to pay very good attention.
We are.
Those on the other side of DOS, because they were not here for the freedom, they continued with their banters against Mazi Simon Ekpa and the Autopilot. While we in the Autopilot moved the struggle forward. That's why we were able to create a government. Why they were still ranting, talking about Simon Ekpa till today. Simon Ekpa is busy making his name, immortalizing his image, and making history for himself. They thought he's suffering. Yes, he's suffering. The skin is suffering. The flesh is suffering. But the soul is becoming thick and thicker each and every day. So, in this present time, for the fact that none of those two persons who claim to be the leadership or leaders in this very struggle have been able to prove to Biafrans, to show Biafrans that, look, we are capable. 6 months has gone. This is the 8th month.
Now.
8 months after our PM's arrest. They still want us to be coming on social media to rant and banter and talk about each other while our men on ground, why the struggle is under ruin.
Hold it there. First of all, who made Ogenkere a leader? Last time I checked, he was just a finance minister in the old BRGIE cabinet. In the USB cabinet or the new government, he had no portfolio, he had no office. But it was people like you that came with the charter that made Ogenkere to become relevant in your own circle. You came with the so-called charter. You caused a problem with the charter. and you ran away. You assumed you have succeeded in planting a seed of discord in the government of Biafra. With your activities, with that charter, you struck a knife in the heart of Biafra and you ran away. You even said your platform is now for sale because you assumed you have done your job. Those who are sponsoring you say, young man, you have done your job. Your job is done. Now go and be a free man. Hence, you wanted to sell your platform. And you were so confident. You were so cocky. You came in the public and you made a publication on 2 of your channels. You said, I want to sell my channel. I am done with this thing called Biafra. You guys aren't ready for Biafra. I want to sell my channel to the highest bidder. Guess what? It will not be cheap. It will go to the highest bidder. Okay, Nkiri, I have come to you as the first bidder. Tell me your price. Make sure you come with a very good offer, because if your offer is not good, when I go to the camp of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, if their offer is better than your offer, then I'll have to sell it to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Ife geme. Ogeme. Ife geme nebata. Fellow Biafrans, this is how you know a selfish human being. When it was time for him to sell his platform, his YouTube channel, when I say platform, I mean this channel you are used to hear him, he was trying to sell it. When it was time for him to make some money, ego yibo, the dollars, the almighty dollars. When this guy was dancing for dollars, he was trying to sell his platform. During that time, it was okay to speak to Oge Nkiri, and it was okay to go to the camp, according to him, of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, to speak, to dialogue, to contract, to transact with Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. This is how selfish these guys are. When it has to do with them, it's okay. Just like Nigerian politicians. When they speak with themselves, it's okay. They are best of friends. But during campaign, they allow the poor, the blind, the most vulnerable to fight themselves, to do tribalism, to kill themselves. But when they want to speak to their friends, when Tinubu is speaking to Atiku or Peter Obi, Atiku, how are you? They shake their hands, they laugh. So to this guy, he felt it was okay to go and discuss business, to transact his channel to Oge Nkiri or Dr. Ngozi Orabueze for him to make money. He was being so selfish. He wanted to maximize profit. That was why he was going to the 2 camp. Because that way, whoever gives the highest or the higher bidder, whoever bids higher than the other, will get the channel of Biafra Unite. He will now take the money. He'll be a multi-millionaire in Nigeria because he's somewhere in Nigeria. Biafra Unite. I know your movement, to and fro. But that's not my business. It will make you in fact, you, in a month, you make an average of 6 million. I know that, but in Naira, you make at least 6 million, but it's fine. I'm not after that. All I'm saying is don't come and deceive my people. Don't come and deceive the Biafrans, because when it was time for you to sell your platform to make money, ego yibo. When it was time for you to make kudi, naira, owo, egon. When it was time for you to make the money, you were okay to speak to who? Oge Nkiri and Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. But now that they tell you, hey, there's a problem here. Yes, you saw the idea of the charter, but Biafrans, they are not falling back. Biafrans did not fall back. Biafrans, we are still in USB. So they sent you back to come and do a job. After Oge Nkiri expose you and say, Biafra Unite, I know you more than you know myself. I know you more than you know me. I will not buy it from you. Nobody will buy it from you. We are the one that made who you are. We made you. Nobody will buy it. And guess what? I know you more than you know me. I know who you are. I know you too much. You now panicked. You now knew that the job to cause disunity is not yet done. Your job has not been completed. So you came back. You joined BRGIE. They were praising you. They were praising you. Until you now plan with Adadi Olama and the rest of them, with your agency that you have in Finland, because you told us the Finnish government, they watch your videos, they watch your platform. So I asked myself, if the Finnish government watch your platform, and you are saying we should not attack the Finnish government, we should not attack Alexander Stubb because they watch your platform, then why can't you use your platform to tell them that Simon Ekpa is a good man, that they are holding the wrong man, that Simon Ekpa has done nothing wrong? Why wouldn't they listen to you when you say those things? But you are telling us not to speak ill of Finland because they watch your platform. But on the other hand, Finland are still doing to Simon Ekpa what they are doing to him, despite, as you claim, they are watching your platform. Biafra United, say people like us, people like me, when we say, I had no holiday as a child. All I did was study. Holiday time, 8 weeks of holiday, I go to a private class to study. What they call a private lesson, a private tutor. I never had a single holiday all my life as a child. So my brain a computer. There is no place where you go carry this thing go when I no go catch you. There is no game you can play with somebody like me that can fool me. You cannot fool me. Yeah, go and fool the deaf, dumb, and blind. Tell them to fall back to BRGIE or to Autopilot. But people like us, it will take 1,000 of you to even try to sway somebody like me. You ain't ready. Your type no fit. But yes, go and deceive the Umunas, those ones who believe in buying and selling. They think this movement is about buying and selling. They think the Biafra structure is about, Ndi Igbo, Anambra State, as I'm hearing you and Ada, you are doing now. You are saying that Anambras, they are the only ones that are the true Igbos. If you are from Enugu, Abia, Imo, those old states, if you're from those states, you are not a real Igbo-like person, as you guys are saying that. Now Fulani blood, now stain us. The only place when the Fulani blood not there, now for Anambra, the old Anambra. I hear what you guys are saying and I'm just laughing because it's only the gullible ones that will fall for that nonsense. People like me, you cannot fool me. My only anger, my only disdain, what did they vex me say, how come Simon Ekpa was here, allowed you to be in the structure, to be in the cabinet, to be in the media, to be one of the media, what happened? Because the Simon Ekpa I know will not do that, except he was hoping that you would change your ways. He saw you changing from Saul to Paul. He was hoping you would also have your experience where you would change from Saul to Paul, because in most cases, those that change, they become greater. He never knew that someone like you will be the one to stab him at the back. He never knew someone like you will make the voting of 50 million Biafrans. You almost made it to be null and void. You almost destroyed the structure of Simon Ekpa when you came with the charter and you ran away like a coward. You ran away. Fellow Biafrans, let's allow you to play off, then I'll shut it down. Listen to him. The one you all love to love. Listen to him. Listen. You all love him.
You see, when I speak this way, It's a big problem. There's a word I said sometime in the past, few days ago or weeks. I told you that you remember one thing, that most of the informations you think you believe you have, you got them from social media.
Listen.
You got them from social media. But there are people who have more information which is not from the social media but from on ground. Listen, and from reality.
Listen.
Those kind of people may not be able to tell you everything.
Mention them now, yourself.
And I am among those people who get those information.
There you come. One more time.
Those kind of people may not be able to tell you everything. And I am among those people who get those information.
One more time.
And I am among those people who get those information.
One more time.
And I am among those people who get those information.
One more time.
And I am among those people who get those information.
One more time.
And I am among those people who get those information.
Hold it there. Grand opening, grand closing. Need I say more? Need I? After Inon carry you go up, come down. Egbulubago, Egbulubada, Inon carry now go up on a journey. You don't bring her down. And he's among those that have this kind of information. A salesman trying to sell snake oil. He's a good salesman. But people like us, enough to fool us because we can read in between the line. We are critical thinkers. We are men with high sense and foresight. To have an insight, to understand, to be able to smell out the rats in the game these guys are playing, you must have high sense and foresight. People like us, they cannot deceive us. My only anger be say people out there, we're not there on this level, this vibration when we did so. Now, they fall for a guy like this. That's my only anger. But people like me, in the next 1 million years, Biafra Unite cannot fool me. No. But I'm still in shock that he found his way to the cabinet, to the media team of the Biafran government. How did they vet him? How did they interview him? What was his CV? What ID did he show? I want to believe in a government. To have a position, we must see your ID. You must be verified. I hope so. Please, my Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, please, going forward, anybody coming for a position, they must be verified and vetted. They must be verified and vetted. Please. Now, beg at the beg. Now, this is the minimum now. This is the minimum standard. Even job, if you go for job, you drop your CV now, you bring your document now, even ordinary job. Then what about a government? What about to be in the cabinet? What about to be a minister, a governor, a secretary of a state? Please, let's start doing things the right way. Oyibo man no get 10 heads. It's because they follow a structure. Oyibo, they have what they call a structure that they follow, a framework. It's like building a house. If you don't build the house complete, you cannot walk through the walls of your house. The wall is there to stop you, to continue within the house, within the structure of the house. That is how Oyibo they operate for their Western world. They don't get 2 heads. What make them they do well be say them get a structure when they don't lay down, like building a house. If you don't build a house, there is no way you can walk away from, except you go through the doors. You can't go through the wall. You can't go through the ceiling because the ceiling is there to contain you. The structure is there. From the structure, Oyibo now have what they call the guidance. Guidance. It means when you're doing a task, you must look at the guidance. In each of the guidance, there are sections or chapters, segments, sections, chapters. They call it different names. In each of those chapters, You now have what they call guidelines. Guidelines. It tells you like a child, you move from A, you move to B. You take 2, 3, 4. If they say yes, you take 6. If they say no, go back to 2. When you apply for visa, that is why it looks like they are perfect. If you don't have the document for the visa, they follow the guidelines. Oh, he's coming for to do business in the USA. Okay, he must have a BTA of $200,000 cash in his account. If you now bring a bank statement that is showing 190,000, you won't get it because the guidelines say 200,000. If you come with a bank statement that you have 999,999,000, unfortunately, you won't get it because the guideline says 200,000. So if you have 250, you will get it. You have 300, you will get it. You have 201, you will get it. You have 200 on the dot, you will get it. But anything below that, the threshold is there. The guideline not to guide you. Or you won't get too ahead. I don't study them. That's why I am excelling in the Western world. I'm not boasting. If you see me, I try to be simple. I'm not boasting. Then when they come follow the guideline, the umbrella, when they protect them under legal, because in the Western world, everything is law now. So they have a legal team, the solicitors, the legal team. It is under the legal team. They will not come with what? The policy. Policy to protect you from a damage to the brand, reputation damage, and the rest of them from paying out fines. Policy is there. Policy means say anybody when can come join the job now. The first thing they give you during your induction is for you to go through the whole policy. You go study, you go read them. You come memorize the policy for your mind. And always they have what they call a policy update. They have different version. Policy version 6.0, 6.1, 6.2. As events they happen out there, it will influence the policy to be updated, to be up to date with the events happening out there. They will not have a new policy. They will update the policy. Or you will not get too ahead. But in Nigeria, in that so-called Nigeria, what they do is freestyling. Freestyle means say they follow no guidelines. You just gotta meet the head of the company, the big boss. When you bow down, when you give your daughter to the man to sleep with, they give you the job. The boss can tell you, hey, steal some money from the bank. Don't worry, take your own share. That's the problem. But in the Western world, we function, we are effective in the Western world because of the structure. When they're down, the guidelines, the policy, the guidelines they follow. Please. So someone like me, when Biafra United is speaking, he's talking what they call obita, out of point, baloney, nonsense. What I'm looking at is Simon Ekpa that I know so much. He said he had a structure on ground, and I had to follow the structure of Simon Ekpa because Simon Ekpa is my prime minister, and I love him. I love him. Not only that, he's our prime minister, and we have to follow the structure of Simon Ekpa. If you follow this policy or this format, you will not go wrong. When I say I don't make mistakes, some of you are angry that, oh, he thinks he's perfect. No, I'm not perfect. But because I don't learn Oyibo way, the result, the outcome will be the same every day, every other day, over and over and over and over again, because I follow those laid down rules. Those laid down rules is there. If you follow those laid down rules, you will not make a mistake. The infrastructure must be there. The guidance must be there. The policies is the main one. Whatever you are doing must be according to the policies. The structure of Simon Ekpa is there. Simon Ekpa made sure in his structure there was no deputy prime minister or acting prime minister. What you had was what? Simon Ekpa, the prime minister, then the chief of staff. Below the chief of staff, you now have all the ministers. It means the chief of staff, she is the one going through and managing the affairs. She is the super head. She superintends over all the ministers. And she's the one that, reports to Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa was very, very smart for doing that. He is a very, very smart man, because if during his time, he's still our leader, but if when he was here with us, he made a structure where he was prime minister and there was a deputy prime minister and a chief of staff and the rest of them, the government would just have to entice number 2. The government may just have to go and kidnap the son, the child, the family of the deputy prime minister. If there was a structure that way, they will now call the person, hello, we have your children, we have your father, we have your mother. So what we want to do now is to compromise Simon Ekpa. We shall ask Finland to catch Simon Ekpa holding somewhere. Automatically, you are now the new prime minister because you are the deputy. So Simon Ekpa was thinking ahead of Nigeria. Simon knew what Nigeria could do, because we know say Nigeria is a 419 country. So Simon Ekpa can use brain, can say, okay, in my own structure, to keep it safe, I'll be the prime minister. There will be no position. It will be vacant. There will be no deputy prime minister or acting prime minister. It will be vacant. But next to the person will now be the chief of staff. Chief of staff is somebody I love. That was why they were asking Simon Ekpa all this while, who will be the one to take over if you're not here with us? Who is your second in command? They were asking Simon Ekpa. They wanted to know. They were not sure. They were not sure. They kept on asking him. Dr. Damages was asking. Even Akbarawa was asking. Now that you have told us, he was asking who is second in command. They didn't know. Nigeria did not know. They didn't know. If they knew, or if Simon Ekpa had a deputy, man, by now, would have been in big soup. Because all they have to do is to entice the deputy. The same way in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, by mistake, he had what they call the DOS. And all they had to do was pay the DOS $9 million. And they sold out Nnamdi Kanu. They sold him out. So Simon Ekpa must have learnt from the mistakes of Nnamdi Kanu. So in the structure of Simon Ekpa, there was no deputy prime minister, but there was a chief of staff. And in most cases, chief of staff is somebody you trust with your whole life. You have the privilege, the leverage to choose somebody that will be your chief of staff. That is your decision. If you make a mistake, it means your judgment is not right, because it's your own privilege to choose somebody that will be your chief of staff. So for the fact that Simon Ekpa chose Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, it means he trusts her with his life. And so far, look at the way she's been battling all the enemies sent by Nigeria to tell us to fall back to BRGIE. She fought them off. Now they are fighting themselves. Now they are telling us that we are now on autopilot. And she's still fighting them, and she's defeating them, and they are confused. I have hopes in her. I have the confidence, because she did a good job. All we're waiting for now is for Oba Tobi to be able to now come out in the public. When I say Biafrans, rejoice, 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 the job is done already. The job is done already. Oba Tobi is here, but he's now on bail. But bail, there is a condition in bail. In every bail, there is a condition. In most cases, similar to what Simon Ekpa is going through, you will not be able to come out in the public to do what we are doing. But we thank God, say September is not far away. September, the month of September, is not far away. That's the month they will now give the final judgment. Fellow, look, I don't want to go deeper. He's on bail, enjoying his bail. But guess what though? Judgment of his case is coming up in September. Biafrans rejoice. We must thank and appreciate our Deputy Prime Minister and Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. I rest my case. Grand opening, grand closing. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. Fellow Biafrans, I still remain yours, your brother, your friend to the end. Yours truly, Biafra, Superstars Media. Please share this video because this must get to the grassroots. Sometimes I want to speak in pidgin English or with African tonation so that una go hear me well. I beg, make una share this one. Make it reach the grassroots. Because the enemy, they want to steal the heart of Biafra. The heart of Biafra is in the land of Biafra, not in the Western world. The land of Biafra, that's where the heart is. So those who speak native language, they are closer. They are more closer to the heart of Biafra. So I beg una, make una share this video. I normally don't ask people to do it, but this one, make una share them. And may God bless you as you do it. May God bless all the cabinet members in USB. May God bless our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. May God bless Nnamdi Kanu. And above all, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless Mazi, Ekpa, Simon, and Joko. Under your watch, Biafra was redeclared. Thank you all. May God bless you. And may God bless Biafra. Thank you.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why